There is an untold story about the coronavirus. There's been an outbreak of generosity. One of the organizations that has experienced this is Gibson Love. This Farmington Valley nonprofit has experienced an increase in both food drives and donations. They have seen a significant rise in both of them, which is critical to them because they've also experienced a rise in the number of clients that they serve. Hello, I'm Andrea Obston, and welcome to the third segment of Gifts of Love in the Community. With us today is Nancy Carlson, Manager and Community Outreach Director at Gifts of Love. Welcome, Nancy.
Hi, Andrea. Thanks for having me.
So I think it's important. There are a lot of people that think they know what Gifts of Love does. Why don't you give us an overview of everything that the organization does under regular circumstances?
Well, Gifts of Love was started 31 years ago as neighbors helping neighbors, and we're still doing that today. It may be a little larger scale, but we are still serving the community. What we are hoping we are doing is helping families who are going through some kind of crisis in their life. It could be a financial crisis, it could be a family crisis, whatever that is. They come to us, and what our hope is over the course of a 12-month period, that we help them manage and navigate that crisis so they get back on their feet. There are several programs that we offer in that vein. We offer a food program. We offer energy assistance. We also offer clothing and housewares, as well as a weekend backpack program. So those are some of the main programs that you can find at Gifts of Love. But certainly these are different times. And so right now it's a little different there.
Talk a little bit about that, because I know you've had to modify what you do.
Well, we were considered an essential nonprofit business. And so we made an effort to at least provide our clients with food. So they come weekly to pick up bags of food. Unfortunately, they're not able to come inside given the virus, but we prepare for them based on the size of their family, enough food to support that family. With several volunteers helping us do that, that's what they're receiving. Our hope is in the next couple of months that we can revisit having them come in and do the choice themselves.
Now, normally you also have other services other than helping people out with food. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, one of our larger programs is our weekend food backpack program. So during a normal school year, I service over 300 children with weekend backpacks. In those backpacks, we provide them with 2 meals, snacks, juices, water, enough food to sort of tide them over for the weekend. We found about 13 years ago that a number of families right here in the Farmington Valley were in need of food. And so we made a point to start the program small with 13 bags that first year. And now we're at 309 during a normal school year. Given the COVID pandemic, we've had to modify that a little bit. They are still getting their bags. We are packing them with the help of numerous volunteers and getting them to sites where they can get the food themselves.
So talk a little bit about this outbreak of generosity that you've been telling me about. It's been quite striking.
You know, it really has. From the onset of this, we've had people calling to see how they could become involved and how they could help. One of the ways the volunteers immediately jumped on board was the backpack program. How can I deliver the bags? The idea of children being hungry was more than some people could handle. So we've had a great outpouring of that. We've also had a great outpouring of food drives, which we need desperately. If we're going to continue to service our clients, we do need to be sure that we have the quantity and the quality of food that we need. So there have been several food drives. We've had Boy Scout Troop 274. We've had Farmington Woods. We've had Valley Community Baptist Church. Simsbury Crew, a number of ways that organizations have become involved to help us fulfill our fulfill the need.
You were also telling me that there's been a remarkable increase in donations, especially online.
There has. I think if I'm correct, I looked yesterday, we had 80 new individual donations of people who had never donated in the past Gibson Love, to the tune of about $10,000. We also had our first one-time $5,000 donation online. So that was something very exciting for us and very, very appreciated by all of us.
And although this sounds exciting and new, I understand that you desperately need this now because you also have an increase in the client base. Talk about that.
I believe during the pandemic, we've seen about a 10% increase. We normally are serving a little over 900 individuals, but that is on the rise. The real goal of Gifts of Love, if that's the right term, is to help working families. But during the pandemic, we have been servicing people who have lost their jobs. As long as we have the means to do so, we want to help as many people as we can. But in a normal situation, we are asking that somebody be working a minimum of 10 hours a week. We've made a lot of exceptions in the last couple of months to meet the needs of everyone we can.
So you've changed the way that you serve people. Talk a little bit about, for those who are getting food from you, what's the actual process?
Well, the actual process normally would be for them to set up a time and come in and choose for themselves. And the reason we do it that way, Andrea, is because we feel it's important to empower them to make the choices that are right for them.
Okay.
It's not about what we think they need. It's about what they actually need. So we like that. But given the circumstances now and the fact that they're not able to come in, we are packaging their food up in bags and then setting appointments for them to come by and basically receiving their food curbside. Our volunteers put it out for them once they arrive, and then they are able to take it and put it in their own vehicle and be on their way. In the past, they would have come in for the food. They would have come in for housewares, clothing, essential items. We hope that we will reopen in that capacity, but we're not absolutely sure at this stage when that will be.
So right now it's just food, the pantry for the clothing and the housewares because of the need not to have them in that small office. That makes sense.
Right. We are monitoring the number of volunteers. It's part of my responsibility to make sure that we're at, the comfortable number of, we're around 6 or 7 in the building at one time. It's based around square footage. So I have to be sure that I'm not overextending us in that capacity. We are still doing the weekend backpacks too. So those are being packed by a family. So they're together and they're packing 248 bags every Wednesday afternoon. And those are delivered on Thursday and Fridays to several locations: West Hartford, Avon, Farmington, Canton, and Simsbury.
And that backpack program normally is specifically tied to the school year. You've actually made a change this year. You've expanded that program. Talk about that.
We have. We saw right away that there was numerous schools that reached out to me and said, is there a chance that our clients could continue to get food because they're struggling to put food on the table? So I decided we would make it happen in the summer. Obviously, the biggest concern for me was the availability of food, the availability of volunteers. But that's all happened. And now it's just funding it. So we did put on our social media the opportunity to, if families or individuals wanted to donate $100, they could support a weekend backpack during the summer.
So $100 will actually handle a child and their family for the whole summer?
Yeah, we do get our food from Food Share. So I don't know if people are aware of that, but a great majority of our food comes from Food Share, where we pay for it, but it's certainly at a much smaller rate.
I think there are a lot of people who believe that you only serve people in the Farmington Valley. I know that's not true, and I know that you earlier in the year or last year actually opened an office in Hartford. Talk a little bit about what that decision was all about.
We did. In the fall, I think we opened the end of September, we opened a satellite office, and it's in Hartford on the corner of South Whitney and Farmington Avenue. And we really did that because for two reasons. One, there were several times when clients didn't have the ability to get to Avon. So we wanted to be sure we could supply them with what they needed. And also to really increase our outreach to see if we couldn't increase our support out in the community. So we definitely wanted to do that.
So you mentioned earlier that a number of people you've had an increase in the number of people that volunteer. What kind of jobs can someone who wants to volunteer do at this point to help out?
We have great opportunities for volunteers. So obviously, right in packing food bags for our clients, or packing weekend backpacks, or delivering weekend backpacks. Obviously, running their own food drive would be amazing. We would love that to continue. And one of our other opportunities, which we haven't talked about, Andrea, is our farm. So we have an organic farm in Simsbury that we are responsible for. And the produce there that we grow there comes to feed our clients. But if people are outdoorsy and they want to be outside this summer, there's a lot of opportunity out there to harvest what we're growing, which are coming in rapidly right now with tomatoes and lettuce and kale and cucumbers and squash. So I love it. People are calling me pretty regularly about, is there something to do out the farm? And I said, absolutely. It's been hot, but we could really use the help.
So what might somebody be doing in those jobs?
Well, if you're at the farm, you're either in the high tunnels or the greenhouse or in the fields harvesting, mowing, weeding, which everybody loves to do, right?
Yeah, right. You have some incredible stories about people who've just said, I want to do something amazing for you. And you shared a couple of those with me. I'd love for you to talk about those.
Yeah, this summer there's been a couple of really, unique ones. But I did have a woman come to the door and ask me what she could do personally. What could I do? And I said, I'd love for you to do a neighborhood food drive. So she had never done anything like this. And so the Stony Corners neighborhood in Avon put together a Sunday afternoon food drive that was amazing. She did her own signs, she did everything, and I have to give them a shout out. They did a marvelous job and brought in a lot of food. The other one is a personal friend of mine who also works at Cigna. Ryan Cutterbeck decided that he wanted to do something for us, but he also wanted to challenge himself. So he played as many holes of golf as he could in one day, which was 136 holes.
In one day?
In one day, he started at 6 in the morning till about 8 at night, and he raised $12,000 with donations. So kudos.
If I remember correctly, you said he also matched the donations with his own personal funds.
He did. His goal was to raise about $5,000, and if he did that, he would match the 5, which he has. But he went over the 5 in his outside donation.
So you also have talked about the increase in food drives. For people who want to get involved, I know you and I were talking about the idea of businesses getting involved. People are coming back to work. It's a central place for people to get together. Talk a little bit about what those drives might look like.
I love that because I've had a number of businesses and organizations reach out to me and say, we're not all together, but we still want to do something which we have planned to do for you. So I've asked them to continue the work by setting up either a toiletry drive or a food drive. And that is one thing, Andrea, that we didn't mention is one of the main needs of our families as well is toiletries. So basic toiletries, toilet paper, toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo. And so for an office, we had a realtor in Simsbury do a drive for us and brought in a lot of toiletries. We have a daycare in Granby, KinderCare, who's doing one for us currently. It's toiletries and food.
Specifically toiletries.
It's wonderful. I mean, it's all good. And those are items that we can't normally get. Like we can't get those from Food Share. We can't just go and buy. So it's a big help if we can provide that for our clients.
Talk a little bit about everybody wants to clean out their pantries and everybody thinks tuna fish and peanut butter, because those are good staples. But what do you what else do you need?
Well, they are great staples, and we always need them. But we're finding that there's a few things that we can't get. We can't get them anywhere. We don't have vegetables. We don't have canned vegetables, canned fruit. We don't have any mac and cheese right now, which we can't get anywhere. We always need, for the backpack program, we always need snacks. We always need juice boxes. And as I said before, toiletries, diapers, we're trying to supply as well. So that's another item that we really are in need of. So any of those items, but in particular, canned vegetables, canned fruit, mac and cheese, pasta and rice are really, really low. We don't have any mac and cheese at this current moment. So anything is surely welcomed, but those are items that we can really use at this time.
For people who want to get involved, to summarize the ways that they can help an individual.
Okay. Love it. That's part of what I do. So I'm glad to get people involved. Obviously, they can come in and they can help package the bags for the clients. We do get, when we get a food drive in, we do need volunteers to sort the food and stock it in the shelves. So there's always that opportunity. And I am practicing the social distancing. So I would need to know when they're coming so that we can make sure we're not over committed down in the pantry. They can go to the farm. We love that. We'd love to see them at the farm. And as I said, harvesting and working with our 2 farmers out there would be amazing. Weekend backpacks, delivering bags, that's always an option. And obviously doing a food drive and helping us raise funds to provide for our clients.
So can individuals come to Gibson Love to donate food and cash?
Absolutely. We have people knocking on the door pretty regularly. So knock on the door, someone will greet you and either gather what you're bringing in or let you know where it needs to go. If there's a lot of food, we do have a back entrance where they can drive right up and we can help them unload the vehicle. But obviously, they can certainly call ahead, make sure we're there, make sure we're available. We are there 9 to 4 during the week. And so generally, if they stop by, there will be somebody who will be there to greet them. But we do have a sign posted, and we ask that everybody just call or knock on the door so that we can greet them and go forward from there.
So if people want to donate online, how would they do that?
They can go directly to our website, which is www.giftsoflovect.org. And there's a link on our front page, which says donate. And you go right in there, and it's very easy. I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
And you can also volunteer through that same, there's a way to volunteer through that.
On our website, it will take you right to my email or to my voicemail, and you can get in touch with me. I would love to talk to people about what we do. I'm very passionate about what we do, so I love to share that with people and find the right fit for them. We also, if people are interested, we are training new volunteers to work the front desk. So if someone is an office person who feels comfortable being inside with us, we only have one person on the desk, so they would be by themselves with plexiglass. But we are I trained a new person yesterday, so there is the opportunity to come in and do that as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Nancy. It's really inspiring. We're hearing a lot of stories about how difficult it is for people, and to see that people have stepped up in the community and with gifts of love and generosity is truly moving. If you are interested in volunteering or donating to Gifts of Love, go to giftsoflovect.org, and they would be happy with anything that you can do for them. I thank you for tuning in today, and tune in again next time when you can talk about with us Gifts of Love in the community. Thank you for joining us.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.